Yo, welcome to the seventh episode of the Karaha Fantasy Basketball League. We don't have my co-host, Len. He's gone MIA. I don't know where he's gone. He's not responding to my messages. Hopefully he's not gone missing. But we've got special guest, John, aka Fourth Quarter. Welcome.
Thanks, David. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
That's good. So I'm sure you've listened to the other podcasts before, but today we're going to go over the week one. That was pretty exciting. A few close matchups, including your one, came on to the final day. We've had 2 weeks of the rankings gone through, so we're really into the full swing of things. Some breakouts, some players who have been trash. But we just wanted to quickly touch on last year because we haven't had you on yet. It was, I'd say, a bit disappointing. People expected you to do better last year. Tell us about tell us about how last year's fantasy went, and then also about the All-Star game.
Shit, last year's fantasy. From memory, it was all right through the season. I think I had, coming into that last week, there was some controversy around throwing games. And I think it was me and AJ trying to throw to get in a better position. All I knew is that I didn't want to play the unknown person in the first week of playoffs. And I think it ended up being Kyrie. But all my numbers worked out that he was the worst matchup for me. So it was worse for me to play him or someone else, but better for me to tank and not play that unknown person. So I was just trying to get out of that place. But when I found out it was him, all my numbers added up and I was like, there's no way I'm winning this. I think I had, he had the most games for his stars, like 6 or 7 or whatever it could be. And I had 3 or 4 and I was like, oh, this is just not looking good straight away. But if I somehow managed to make it through that, I had a good run. Like all my stars were playing out the rest of their high games. And I was like, oh. But yeah, as soon as I seen Kyrie locked in, I was like, oh, it's going to be rough. It's probably the most active I could ever be.
So a little bit of controversy. But I mean, you still made the playoffs. You still did all right. And then tell us a little bit about the All-Star game, how that went for you, the whole day, the breakup. You were pretty drunk at the end of season breakup afterwards.
Bro,
a lot of smack.
I love the lead up to that All-Star game. There was so much shit talk, so much smack, and I've never played against any of them, or most of them. So I was just like, I know I'm not the fittest, but I'm gonna talk smack anyway. But after that performance, I'm like, okay, this year I think I'm actually gonna start training. But also I've got the wedding, so I'm training for that. I'm just slimming down for that. So hopefully it just pays off in time for the All-Star game.
So I feel like your whole team, that's their view is that I need to be much fitter for next year.
Yeah. I think so.
Is that what the game came down to?
Mostly, I think. You're a big part. I mean, what, you score 40 odd? And when you wanted to score, you could score?
We worked out that the scores were like 100 and... So we played 6 games and 4 of them were up to 21. I think it was like 100 and... It was over 100 points, like 115 or something. I can't remember.
I've heard Kiddy's been training too. So I think either way, it's just going to be a whole different game this year, especially if he's been training.
Yeah, that's true. And
because he came off 6 years of not touching a ball, which is, and he was still pretty dominant. So I don't know, put 1 week of training in him. And
do you have some? For me, like I have like almost a loyalty to my players. Like I feel like they're part of my team, and like when I think about drafting next year, I'm like, oh, like there's certain players that I should pick, but I'm like, oh, actually, they were my team last year. Do you feel a loyalty towards your team?
Not a loyalty. It would be fun to win with the same squad.
Same squad, yeah.
But I think just drafting again and mixing it up will be exciting.
I think that because the draft is fun, right? Like, and then having your team, and then that build up is fun. So yeah.
Also, it's going to be funny if someone cops 2 hours this year. Like if we're split up and half the team gets a dub, then you've got some people with 2 hours.
Yeah, that's true. Or like someone will have 2 wins, like
it's
crazy. I feel like Kede, like he can't go down 2-0. Like he's gonna come in for revenge, because that'll be a big out for him.
I think he's firing, bro. Especially if you two are on the same team. What's happening with B?
That's all. He's just talking shit. Like he knows it too. It would be funny though. I think when we have like a mid-season get together, because I think we're going to have to do something. We missed the draft day. We'll get B on the same team. We can pick a squad and see how that plays out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's touched on last year, and this year, week 1 done. How did you think you drafted, and what do you think of the new additions to the league, Rens and B?
How did I draft? I drafted pretty close to how I thought I'd draft. Either got my first or second picks in, I think, 9 out of 10 spots. But I knew I couldn't draft a good team. Well, not a good team. I knew I couldn't draft the team that I wanted. So I think I had 4th pick and then 20-something and 2 20s. But I had to make my team based up on who was going to be available when I drafted. So it's a different team to how I'd normally play, and it was just because of where I could draft. So didn't draft the best team to how I like to play, but trying to make trades to get it in. I've had some outrageous trades for Harden. I think one was from you. I think I got like a 6th and a slut. Is that what you sent me? I was like, the fuck?
No, I think I sent Jama and a slut. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. But I'm just trying to, because he's been horrible so far. Not horrible, but he's not been the 4th pick. So far,
it's his points, he's bloody doing shocking. My whole team's doing shocking. Yeah.
Yeah. You squeezed away the win on the first week.
Yeah.
Coming the last day. Is it crazy that you get ranked 10th, much below the person who you beat in the first week? What's your thoughts on Andre's ranking?
If it wasn't Andre ranking, then I'd be surprised. But I don't know. It seems to be a theme. He drafts with his heart. Oh, he ranks with his heart. So
yeah.
No qualms. But I don't know how you can rank me below the person I beat. It's all good if I'm 10th. Just make sure whoever I beat is after me.
So if you look at the rankings, you got me at number 1. I'm sure everyone agrees with that.
Yeah, I'll take that.
And then Zach at number 2. His team isn't horrible. Did he win? He lost in the first week also, right? But he didn't have Bale playing.
Yeah.
And then George. I think George's team is pretty good.
I like George's team. I'd rank George's team 3rd. I don't know if I put Zach 2nd. I think I put Ren 2nd.
Ren's team 2nd?
Yeah.
He's ranked. Where's he ranked on the rankings? 9th, just above yours.
Yeah. Mostly for his GMing.
Okay,
I think he's got an average team, but I think I watch him on the
pickup,
on the active, on the active thing.
He's definitely active in slutting. I would say he's the most active. Him and Andre are slutting hard. Everyone else is kind of like testing their team, where them AJ slutting hard too. But he had 4 sluts to start off with.
And I think if he didn't misclick Ben Simmons, he'd be 1 or 2, definitely.
Oh no, so sorry, Khan was 3rd and George was 4th. So Khan beat Zach, and then B's team wasn't bad.
Nah, I like B's team. I just don't know who he's going to drop.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of Same players.
He's not. That's the thing, is that he's not slutting until he messaged me saying he's not going to slut until he plays me, which is crazy. I tried to send him some trades, but yeah, who knows? Him and Lenny are notorious non-traders, which is crazy. And so there was 2 draws in our league last week.
Yeah, that's right.
Ren's drew, and then got the win because of the points, and also Khan and Z drew. So where would you rank your team if you're not 10th?
I'd say a safe 7 on my team. I'd say
7. Okay, so
yeah.
And is
7,
your team better than Kid is?
No, but I think my matchup against them was better.
Right.
Like the cats I was going for were the ones he wasn't as good at. So overall, I think he's got the better team. I'm just a better matchup.
All I was asking was, like, has anything surprised you after that first week? Is Ren's a surprise with how he's been GMing, and everyone else kind of?
Yeah, well, I didn't know when he drafted his team. I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good team, but I don't know how he plays. Has he played with you before?
Apparently, it's his first year playing fantasy.
Oh shit! Because if I didn't see his team, he looks like he knows what he's doing.
Would you consider him a dark horse this year then?
Yeah, probably. Only because just from watching how active he is and what picks he's making, I don't know if he's just reading a lot or if he's guessing his picks, but there've been some solid picks. Like, I went to pick up Harrison Barnes, and when I clicked him, he was free and he just didn't come to me. I was like, wow, he must have just picked them before I did.
That's crazy. And he's blown up, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's averaging like 28 points or something.
Yeah, he's playing silly. He's playing like should have at least gone somewhere in 7, 8 to be given those stats.
The thing is, look, he's averaging 28 and 10, which is crazy. He's never, like, he's had high minutes for like his whole career. I don't think those numbers are sustainable, but it's not. He's shooting 50% from the field, which isn't crazy. Like a little bit, it's like a little bit higher than his career.
I don't know what's happening with their Kings team, eh? Like, they got De'Aaron, Hallie. They dropped Bagley, or they're just not playing him.
Yeah,
did you have him?
Nah, but they're not playing him because he's looking for a trade.
Yeah. But I watched a couple of their games, and I don't know who's the go-to offense guy. Looks like Barnes isn't go-to, but he's getting a lot of like stagnant offense points where they don't know what they're doing, and he's just taking it.
Fox has been bad. Halliburton has been bad. So that seems interesting. If you're looking at the top 10 so far in our league, so Paul George is number 1, which isn't sustainable, but that's mainly because of its steals. Jokic, number 2, that's expected. Karl Anthony Towns, number 3, expected. CJ McCollum, number 4. That's crazy. That's obviously due to Damian Lillard being injured and horrible. It'll be interesting to see because Damian Lillard really takes much time off each year. So it'll be interesting to see what CJ does when he's out.
I think it's everything's going to change in about a month, and players are going to go back to their normal numbers.
Who do you see making the biggest jump this year? So far in our league, you got Jaylen Brown, Ja Morant, CJ McCollum, LaMelo Ball, Lamonte Ball, Miles Bridges, and Harrison Barnes. So those are the top players who've made the biggest jump so far. Who do you see?
If LaMelo can sustain, I reckon he's got the most chance to out of everyone, just because it looks like he's got the green light for everything. Like, dude's shooting almost taking 20 attempts per game. And didn't last game he just shoot threes? Something like that. He shot like
that's crazy.
10 three attempts and 2 others.
That's crazy.
So, but
He's
I
averaging like
think
23, 5, and 7 with almost 2 steals a game and 4 threes.
I think he's got the biggest opportunity to sustain amongst all those players, just because it's his team.
Yeah.
But I think there's some less likely players to just maintain a good role. Like I had a chat with Dre the other day about Steven Adams, and I just from watching those first few games, it looks like he's going to be able to sustain not crazy numbers, not like double numbers, but close to. Where he's in the low 10s for points and sitting around 10 for rebounds.
Yeah.
Just I think he's got the same opportunity as what JV had last year, and he's had some offensive touches.
I didn't see why he can't, just because Ja Morant creates so much attention and Jaren Jackson Jr. plays like the stretch, and so it's usually him down below. Ja Morant, he always in like the top 5 in assists, and so it's kind of like that Westbrook role where Steven Adams was there. He was getting those easy buckets, the alley oops, and plus he was. Shout out to the homie. He definitely can come into those numbers. Lamellar Ball. I'm just not. I've always said I'm not high on Lamellar Ball, but I'm like a big fan of his.
I get that.
I just don't know, but he's just like proving me wrong.
I think he's just got fucking a shitload of confidence, and that's
that
enough
goes a long
for him.
way.
Yeah, bro. Like, have you seen his warm-ups?
Nah, what does he do?
He doesn't do like traditional shooting. All his warm-ups before games are like random behind the back turnaround off 1 foot jumpers. That's like that's how he warms up in practices. So he makes those silly shots in games.
That's crazy. Another question I wanted to ask was around because you talked about like who like your top, like say the top 5 GMs in the league. Because Andre was saying me to it, which we know that's a lie. Andre's definitely, I'll say like Farrell only because he goes missing, and then it'll be Andre at the bottom. But who would you put as your top 5?
Top 5. AJ. I want to say Khan. I know he drafted bad last year, but his GMing to get back to a place was spot on, I reckon. I'll put me in there. I'll take 3.
What about Zach? Where do you put Zach?
I don't know, because I've only played with Zach twice, and first year he didn't make playoffs. Second year he won it, so you got to put him in there for having the chip. But GMing, he makes a lot of plays. I'll put him in there. Who's left? There's George. I think you draft good, but you GM
horrible.
Well, you GM good on some things and like horrible on other things. Like, you have tendencies to blow up your team.
I would
say
and
to make trades on a whim and be like, oh shit. But you match up and take picks off the waiver well.
Yeah, I would say
probably in top 3.
In terms of like trades, like the last 2 years. So 2 years ago, I drafted really well, and then blew up my team. I still ended up like second in the league, but at the end of the season. But same as last year, I drafted really well, then blew up my team. I still ended up taking in the league at the end of the season, but my team.
Why do you blow it up though? Do you just get bored?
A little bit. It's the same thing as Khan, and I feel like we have the same problem. That's why I keep telling them to stop sending trades, because then I get excited. Is that like we know we can improve our team a little bit through trades, so we keep sending trades, and so I don't know. He's probably sent about 50 already, even though he promised to only send 15 in the year. He's already said 50. So, but then there's going to be that one where he goes that, it might be a little bit. I'm only like usually most of the time you're trying to improve your team, right? So you're trying to undercut someone unless it's like a win-win. But then there's going to be this one trade where it's like, I'm just taking a punt, and it's that one time. And so that's what happened with me last year, was that I sent like 50 trades, and then the 2 that were bad ended up being really bad. But it's crazy because if I had kept my team, there's no way I would have lost. But it's just, I'm just an idiot, and I know that too. And I know it's probably going to happen again this year. Like if I run the numbers now, like my team, like besides Ja Morant, who's been going off, no one in my team's been going crazy. Everyone's sort of expected or playing worse. Like Jaren Jackson Jr., OG, KP, they were playing much worse than what their projected stats are. So, and I still.
That's pretty good then, yeah.
Ja Morant's obviously gone up, but like in terms of his numbers, he's shooting a higher percentage and getting more points. Everything else, like his assists, rebounds, steals, are just normal. He's just averaging 35 points where he's meant to average like 24. So I think
he's playing silly.
I think like no one, we'll see. I'm probably going to blow up my team soon, which is stupid because I got all my positions locked up. I got everything I want. I know what I'm punting.
Do you know what everyone else is punting?
No, like I know like a few teams are clearly punting field goals. But like Khan and Zach. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked at what other people are punting. Like I just run up my matchup each week. And then see. So like right now, I know how I'm going to beat George, and I know what I need to get off the waiver wire. I don't even need the waiver wire right now against George because lots of the categories I should smash him by. Like the four categories that I should beat him by. I should beat him by a lot in each one, and then I might steal field goal percentage. So it might be 5, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
How many of us do you think do that? I know I do that. I do my matchups for the weekend, see what I'm going to win at, obviously.
So Khan does, Zach does, AJ does.
Yeah.
And then I know Kyrie probably doesn't. So that's who I would say. Do you do daily or just the total?
I'll do total and then not numbers daily. I'll just look at matchups daily and.
Because what like the like over the top way is check how it will play out daily to see if you can change your strategy, because say if you're playing someone who isn't checking the totals, or even if they are, but say like after 3 days I'm going to be leading heaps in steals, but I'm probably going to lose that category. Like so my opponent is going to be looking at, instead of looking at totals. So lots of people, so daily is like that, the over the top way, and like if like a category is close, then I might just check that category on the daily to see if I can.
Like this week I was supposed to blow Khan out with 3s, but my team ain't been shooting well, and Lamellar shot 7 first day, so it's already a step behind. So I think I might give up on that and go for something else.
Do you think you beat Khan this week?
Potentially. It's my numbers say it's 4-3 to him. So, but the fourth cat depends on whether I play it and he doesn't.
Right.
And it's rebounds by 0.3 of a point. So.
So it just depends. And today, you got not a bad day. Harden will be big.
Yeah. Well, I think what's good for me is I've got better positions in my matchups versus him. Like his team's good, but he can't fill every position every day.
Yeah. He's got lots of single position guys, eh?
Yeah. Giannis. So I think he's missing like that small forward that he can play when he has to choose between his small forwards and his point guards or shooting guards.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what happened to him last week. He had guys on the bench but just couldn't play them.
Would you give up D'Angelo Russell?
Yeah, I've been trying to make trades for everyone.
Um,
I've got a new strat on my team.
because he's been horrible this year,
Yeah,
and I
I
don't
was
think he's going to get any better.
listening to a podcast about saying how he's 50-50 to get better, or 50, or the other 50 is just he's not that
He's
option
done.
anymore because
Yeah,
Edwards is
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But he might just turn into a spot up shooter, like a doesn't
Because
take it to the hole, just runs the offense and then goes and sits in the corner.
he's had one good season where he was the only guy there, and that was when he made All Star. So like, I don't know if he can be good if he's not the number one option.
Yeah.
And Anthony Edwards is balling.
Bro, he's fucking. I was about to take him too. I should have taken him.
Did you take D'Angelo Russell over Anthony Edwards?
Nah, I took Kyrie.
Why?
It was a risk.
I think
in all my drafts, Edwards was gonna be there the next round. So I was like, oh, I could risk this. Didn't pay off. But fuck yep.
the thing with Kyrie is that there's no reason to take him in that spot. Like,
yeah,
you're not getting any value out of him.
So hindsight is a wonderful thing.
The one thing though is that I would say Kyrie's probably 50-50 to get vaccinated.
Yeah. I reckon it's fucking 70-30. 70 he's not, 30 he gets.
The thing is though, they might just ship him if he says, look, I'm not going to, because they're going to give him as long as he needs, but it's not going to be 3 months. It's going to be another month or so max where he says, okay, I'm not going to get vaccinated this year. Then they say, okay, we can
I've been watching it closely.
Seen the protests like coming in, that's breaking down the record.
And it's bro, so I think it's Sean Marks doesn't want to trade him either.
Really?
From what I've been watching, like he just every time he talks about him, he's like, oh, it's a team decision, and he puts a lot on KD, but also it doesn't look like he wants to get rid of him because KD doesn't want to.
Yeah, because KD and James Harden probably want to keep him.
Yeah. So I don't know if he'll go for cheap.
Yeah. James Harden, yeah, he should come right. But it's like he just lost it.
Yeah, fuck. And I took him thinking he was going to be the man because I've watched him all preseason and all his training drills and shit. Mm-hmm. I got caught in that social media trap.
Oh man, that's so you're just as bad as Andre.
Well, when I found out he could be a possible pick, I was like, he's probably gonna be there. Yeah. If Joker's there, I'll take Joker. But I knew George wanted him last year, so thought he'd be off the table.
You didn't think of Cat at that spot?
Nah, because I always planned on taking what's his name, Randall. I planned on taking Randall second to be a PFC.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I always wanted. It was either going to be Harden or KD. Those were the only two I was tossing up, and I was like, "Oh, KD might chill this year."
Yeah.
Just because of what happened to him in the playoffs. I was like, maybe he'll just give more responsibility, but fuck, that didn't pay off. Well, hasn't paid off yet. But then Vooch was there.
Yeah, that's crazy. I had nothing to do with Vooch this year just because of the situation.
Bro, my head said don't draft Vooch, and my heart said he's a Bulls now. Take him. So, fuck. But should have taken Randall though. He's balling out.
Yeah, Randall wasn't going to average those defensive stats that he is now, though.
Hard.
So we'll see. But yeah, I think like nothing more to discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you will win this week's matchup.
Nah, it's tough.
It depends. You're probably out. Looks like you're going to outgame him in minutes, and this just depends on what categories you go after on the streamers. But who do you put for like to be in the top 4 this year?
Top four. You, Renz. I'd put B's team in the top four. Because he's the GM, I'd put him in 7th place or somewhere in the lower half. Probably top of the lower half. And Kitty, if he makes one trade, I think he'd be top 4. And who's that? Is that 3?
Yeah.
You. Oh, and Zach, I think Zach's GMing will put him up there. Those are my top 4. I think, yeah.
And then who's the last thing to end off? What is like run us through like your top, say, 5 picks in the All-Star game draft.
Ooh. I'm imagining everyone's more fit than they were last year, and without you and Kitty in there, I'll put Dre. I heard he plays consistently every week, or he's still playing socially. Put Dre in. I'll put AJ in. I'm clamping him down this year. I hope we're in opposite teams because I'm just saying he didn't try to score last year, and I'm saying it was because of me.
Okay.
But I'll put him in there, and I hope we're on opposite teams because I'd love to play against him. And then does Renz play?
Yeah, so apparently he's like 6'2", tall, can stroke.
Yeah, I saw him call someone out in a 1v1. I was like, he must be pretty good. I remember being pretty good, but bad knees. So I don't know. He's the unknown. If he can just get up and down the court, he should be all good.
Could you rate Dre above AJ?
In our teams, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If we were playing in a 5v5 full court in a social league, I'd put AJ above him.
Okay.
Just because he looks like a role player, and AJ looks like he can run a O. And then I'm putting me number 5.
They're number 5. Okay. That's interesting.
But I'm coming this year. I've been training weekly, so I'm coming. Is that 4 or 5?
So you've got because if you put B in there, then it's 5.
Oh yeah. If it wasn't for B's knees, I'll put Khan in.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely going to play lots more beforehand. I'm taking it serious because I know, like, I hadn't played in, I don't know, I've played like probably 5 times in like the last, like, I don't know, however many years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely, I'm going on a streak this year for the ring.
Bro, Lace Up didn't play much last year either.
Oh yeah.
So I was out of form.
So Kede, just know, even if you train, even if you get up 100 shots a day, 1,000 shots a day, you're taking another hour. Just know that. You just
talk to him,
give up now. Just give up now. There's no way you're winning this year. Just give up now. Thanks, John.
Yo, peace, bro.
Peace.